Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be looking at how do you solve a system of equations using both elimination and substitution. This is the speedrun version where we go pretty quick. If you'd like just the normal lesson, I will link that in the description below. All right, your 30-second recap starts now. Here's what you have to know before you start this lesson. You should already know how to solve equations. So moving things to one side, doing it on both sides, figuring out what the variable is. Okay, have to know how to solve equations. If you do not know how to do this, I will link a refresher video in the description below. Please do not start this lesson before you know how to do that. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. Systems of equations. All right, this over here is a system of equations. It's called a system of equations because there's more than one. System of equations could be two equations, three equations, so on and so forth. All right, we're looking for two numbers. We're looking for an x and we're looking for a y. That will work for both of these. Okay, we're looking for one set of numbers that works for both equations. If you were to look at the graph of this, right, you graph the line, we are looking at where do they hit exactly, okay? Now, we're going to be using, the first thing we're going to look at is elimination, all right? And it's called elimination because what you do is you add straight down. So negative 8 plus 10x is 2x. You add here. Positive 7y plus negative 7y is 0y, and negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4. All right, and this is called the elimination method because you'll notice that the y's have eliminated, right? Because 0y is just 0. So now I'm left with 2x equals negative 4. You know, we should know, okay, divide by 2 on both sides, you get x equals negative 2. Now you take this negative 2, and we're going to put it back into either one of the original problems. It doesn't matter. I'm going to usually choose the top one, right? So the top one was negative 8x plus 7y equals negative 12. Let's replace the x with negative 2. So now we have negative 8 times negative 2 plus 7y equals negative 12. Now we have 16 plus 7y equals negative 12. All right, and we should know how to solve this for the y. Let's subtract 16 on both sides. We get 7y equals negative 28. And then let's divide by 7. We get y equals negative 4. So final answer has to be two numbers. The x first, negative 2, comma, negative 4. All right, and here's our solution. Now what happens if you were to add straight down here? You would get negative 9x minus 14y equals positive 6. And this does not work, right? Because we haven't eliminated one of the variables. But you will notice that the y's have the same number in the front. The same coefficient is the fancy word. So if we could make one of them positive and one of them negative, then it would work. And the way we do that is we are going to multiply this top equation by negative 1. Because multiplying by negative 1 doesn't change a bunch of the numbers. All it does is flip the signs. And it's really important here. You multiply everything by the negative 1. So actually, let's do it one more time. Negative 1 times negative 6 is positive 6x. Negative 1 times negative 7 is positive 7y. Negative 1 times 18 is negative 18. Leave the bottom one the same, right? Don't change anything. And now, when we add down, we're going to get 3x, 0y, so we'll just call it 0 for now, equals negative 30. Now we have 3x equals negative 30, and now we just solve like we did before, all right? So we're going to get x equals negative 10. Take that negative 10, plug it into either one of the original. I would just use the original problem. You can plug it in after you've multiplied by negative 1, but I would just use the original problem, right? So negative 6 times negative 10 minus 7y equals 18. This is 60 minus 7y equals 18. This is now negative 7y equals negative 42. Therefore, y equals 6. So our final answer is negative 10, comma 6. Negative 10, comma 6. Now for this problem, you'll notice that none of these numbers match. All right, so multiplying by negative 1, that does not work here. So this has a different kind of trick. This trick is you're going to sort of flip-flop. What I mean by that is you're going to take this 4 and you're going to multiply everything here by 4. And then I'll change colors here to show this. Then you're going to take this 6, and you're going to multiply everything in the top by 6. Okay, so we just sort of like flip-flop these, right? So on the top, we will have 24x plus 24y equals 48. On the bottom, we'll have 24x plus 32y equals 40. And now these match. We need to make one of them positive, one of them negative. So let's multiply the top one by -1. So now we have negative 24x minus 24y equals negative 48. And leave the bottom one the same. And now we just solve like normal. So I'm going to skip through the work here. All right, and here's the work that we should know how to do at this point. We should get 3, -1. All right, for this problem, it looks a little different. The good news is that it's actually already halfway done because they tell you that x is 10. So they've already told you the first number in your answer, right? It's going to be 10 and then something. And so now we just take this 10 and let's substitute in. So now we would have -6 times 10 minus 4y equals -20. And now we just solve, right? -60 minus 4y equals -20. Add 60 on both sides, we get positive 40. Divide by -4, we get -10. So your final answer is 10, -10. In these cases, right, with substitution, it's already halfway solved for you. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it is time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these 3 problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem here is the work, and your final answer should have been 4, -4. For the second problem, here is the work. You should have gotten 10, -3. And for the last problem, I know it was set up a little bit differently, but here's the work. You should have gotten 2, -6. Even though it's set up differently, just remember that this is one y here, 1y here, and so you just need to multiply one of them by -1. And then when you add down, you get a 0, and then solve for the x. All right, that is it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.